What's up, my dudes? Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a most excellent day today. So before we crack on with this video, quick content warning. This is going to be discussing adult subjects, so any minors watching this, please go watch something else, anything else, just not this video. Awesome. Okay, let's crack on with this subject then. So it looks like a certain naughty dragon company appears to be suing another company in the same kind of market. And that other company is a company called Sin Saint, which, you know, I've never heard of before. If you guys haven't heard of it before, I don't blame you. But apparently, both companies make silicone sculptures, if you know what I mean. And while we all know what the naughty dragons tend to make, a lot of us have never heard of this Sin Saint before. But apparently, they also like to make devil's cucumbers out of silicone. So, you know, they seem to be stomping on some territory here, trying to assert some dominance over the dragon. And I guess the dragon didn't like that, because it looks like the dragon company is accusing Sin Saint of making counterfeit Klappenschlangers based on their designs. But the real question is, can they pin them down in court and actually prove this? And they don't just want to bring this before a judge. Apparently they're demanding a jury trial over this. And I'm curious how they're going to do this. Are they going to, like, give the jury free samples, let them compare the two somehow, you know, maybe even give a rating out of 5 stars? I don't know. But either way, the naughty dragon company intends on penetrating Sin Saint's defenses. And I'm curious how this goes. Will they win? Will they assert their dominance? Or will they be tied up in legal knots for the next 6 months? And from what I've seen online, this isn't the first time that the Naughty Dragon Company has tried to shaft a smaller creator. Apparently they've done this before a couple of times. And as always, they're suing them for a fat load of money. And I've had a brief look at the legal documents and the exhibits that they say is copying one from the other. And I can see a fair few similarities, I guess, but at the same time, companies out there have been making these sculptures for decades with various shapes, sizes and features. So I think this one may be stretching it a little bit. I'm really curious about how the Naughty Dragon Company intends to keep it up in court. You know, what's going to be the main thrust of their argument? I mean, can you imagine being the lawyers in this case? I mean, I bet all their colleagues are giving them a good ribbon over this. So looking through these comparisons of toys, I think some of them are going to satisfy the jurors, but I think a few of them are going to leave them wanting for more. I mean, things like the Naughty Dragon Spritz versus the Sin Saint Idol, yeah, they kind of look like a copy, just kind of smoothed out a little bit, so you know, I can see where they're coming from with that one. But at the same time, things like the Crackers versus Asmodeus, I'm really failing to see the similarity. I mean, one's covered in knobs, the other one isn't. And like the Naughty Dragon Company are claiming that Marcel has been copied by the Sauron, and you know, it's vaguely similar, except one looks like it's got alligator scutes, whereas the other one just kind of looks like generic knobbly bits. And honestly, I think Sin Saint should be more worried about the Tolkien estate in this case, because, you know, naming their toy Sauron kind of infringing on some trademarks there, I think. But looking at a lot of the claims, I think they're like vaguely similar, but different enough. Kind of like foxes. If you've tried one, you've tried them all. I think the same kind of thing applies here with these sculptures. And you know, I'm no expert on US copyright law, but I do think there may be some girth to the Dragon's arguments here. But I really think they're going to struggle to finish this one out on top. And you know, they're demanding all of the profits that Sin Saint has received on these 13 specific toys, which I think is a bit of a stiff penalty when you really look at it. And while they may think the monetary gain may be worth it, they are getting a lot of backlash on social media. There is a buttload of furries who are complaining about the lack of meat in their argument. I see a lot of furries on social media chastising them for trying to pound a competitor into the ground, so maybe this wasn't one of their best moves at the end of the day. So when it comes down to it, I think we'll just have to wait to see whose lawyers come out top, but I think whatever happens, this is going to get messy, my dudes. And as always, I will link down below to the actual lawsuit itself, so you can go check it out. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to Boozy Badger over on Twitter. It's because of him that I even know about this. His tweets about it, you know, asking for opinions on whether these two toys look the same. That's what got me looking into this in the first place. So thank you for those most excellent tweets. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. As always, consider swinging by my Patreon, supporting me make more awesome videos. And I've got a Discord still. I occasionally go on there. But other than that, though, I hope you have a most excellent day, a satisfying week, and party on, dudes!